What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Chris Wright DJ Show. And I just wanted to come on because it's something that's been bothering me. I joined a Facebook group recently, and it's an awesome group. It's the DJ Help Desk. So if you are a DJ and you want to collaborate and talk to other DJs and get ideas and learn about equipment and all that kind of stuff, you want to join this group. It's a Facebook group created by DJ Rachel Lynch and two other people. And I apologize, guys, I forgot your names, but big fan of DJ Rachel. So anyway, the DJ Help Desk, you guys should join it. But one of the things that at my age, now I'm telling you my age if I tell you that I've been DJing since the 80s. Wasn't professional DJing, but I just grew up in the DJ hip hop bebop world, and I just as I progressed in my DJ life in my DJ career, I just remember that people would make a big deal out of the brand more than they would the equipment. And if you were a DJ and you didn't have Technique 1200s, you remember those? Remember these? If you didn't have the DJ Technique 1200s, you couldn't even be taken seriously. That was the rave in my neighborhood. All the DJs in the parks, the DJs in the bars, the nightclub, and when hip hop became famous, all of the major players had Technique 1200s. And I was like, there's no way, as bad as I want to be a DJ, could I afford these turntables. I mean, they were $400 in the 80s. That's equivalent to about $1,200 today. So imagine going out and spending $1,200 on a turntable. I know some of you would do it because it says technique on it, and that has been my battle the entire time I've been DJing, not understanding the name brands, not understanding like plug that puppy. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. Because I came up in this music DJ world, and I never had a lot of money, so I loved beats, I loved hip hop, um, and I just never really cared about the brand, and I just wanted to do whatever it took. I had a boombox. I had a boombox. I used to record from the radio by pressing the record and the play button and sit it next to the speaker. So do you really think I cared about the quality of the sound at that time? So I'm just kind of saying that because I know that as I'm in this DJ group, what can happen to you is you can get an inferiority complex because you don't have some of the equipment that some of the DJs name. You can also get imposter syndrome. I'm using all these mental midget words, but you can get imposter syndrome because you might feel I'm not a real DJ if I don't have the equipment. And I want you to stop feeling that way. These DJ social media groups, and I'm not just hammering on the DJ help desk, I love it. But if you get into groups, you can really like trick yourself into believing I don't have the right equipment. And you may be afraid to put pictures of your events up on there or show what type of equipment you're using because you might get dragged and you'll get bullied and people start. In fact, shout out to Jay Book who talked about this same thing on his show a little differently. Mine is all about equipment. But he was talking about DJs who can scratch, DJs who can beat mix, DJs who just play one record after another. Some DJs play long versions, some DJs quick mix. And sometimes you may feel that if you don't do what's trendy, that people are going to bully you in these social media groups. And I don't want that to happen to you guys. So my whole thing is about equipment. So I never had the money for really expensive equipment. I remember guys used to put bass boxes in the back of their cars. There were certain brands you had to get, Alpine decks and all that kind of stuff. Pioneer, was it a Sony? And I just got what was cheap and good, and I didn't really care about name brand. And I'm kind of the same way today. I don't really care. as long as it sounds good. And here's the thing: I have never, ever, ever had someone come up to me in an event or a wedding and say, "Bro, that sounds like shit." Never. In fact, conversely speaking, people have come up to me and go, "Your system really sounds amazing. It sounds good." And I was using like Behringer's or something. But all the way back to the days of the Technique turntable, I've been battling this brand war and keeping up with the Joneses. And now it's happening again that when I see um, people on the help desk, "Hey, what kind of uplights are those?" Or "What brand speaker is that?" I really could care less. And I just know that I put on very good events. I get very good reviews. People like my sound. And no one, I can tell you when I work a hall or a venue and it sounds like shit. And it usually has nothing to do with the brand. It usually has to do with the acoustics of the venue, the size. Maybe I didn't bring enough power, but it had nothing to do with the brand. Meaning, if I had a Bose speaker or I had a Behringer speaker, that hall was still going to sound like crap. So I think my first mixer, well, let me tell you about my first DJ system in the '80s. So everybody had the Techniques. I think they had the Gemini or Newmark mixers. Um, and I don't even know what kind of speakers they were rocking back then. I couldn't tell you. But anyway, I remember that I went to Radio Shack and I wanted to get a credit card because Radio Shack had DJ equipment. And I remember going, and the guy said, "You're approved for $1,500 or whatever it was." So I was able to take home a whole system. I didn't know the difference between a belt driven turntable or a direct drive turntable. I think I knew the techniques were direct drive, but I just got what Radio Shack had was a replica, looked similar to the technique, but it had realistic on it. You guys remember realistic? And I took it home, and I knew that I couldn't. It didn't slip back, and I went and got the slip mats and all that stuff. Anything so I could pretend to be a real DJ. And I had the Aldi brand techniques, right? So that's kind of how my career started, and I've been following suit ever since. Um, this was my mixer. Um, this was my mixer. Where is it at? Look at that. That was the old technique. I'm sorry, the realistic mixer. So yeah, that was it. See a little crossfader on it. That was from Radio Shack. What is that? Stereo mixing console. And I was using that when other people had Newmarks and Geminis and all that kind of stuff. I eventually did get a Newmark. It was beautiful, man. It had buttons all over the place. I wish I had a picture of it, but um, we talked mid '80s, and I got my Newmark mixer, and I was proud as ever. I felt like a real. It was the only thing in my arsenal that made me feel like a real DJ. When people came over at my house to watch me DJ, they were like, "Oh my God, you got a Newmark." It is what it is. I don't care. But so we're still fighting those same battles. And then, as I moved up in the industry later in life, and I went from so by the way, when I used to play bars and clubs back in the '80s, I used whatever they had, which was amazing because that was professional equipment. So they had all name brand stuff, and I love DJing in the booth of these bars and nightclubs. But then, when I met a guy who said, "Oh, you should be a wedding DJ," I had to run out and get all my own equipment. He wasn't critical. He didn't say you had to get this brand or this brand. He just said, "Hey, do you have equipment?" I was like, "Yeah, I have equipment." Because he said, "I'd love you to DJ for me." So I lied and I said, "I have equipment." So I ran out and got all this realistic stuff. I don't think eBay was around then, so I couldn't go on eBay and buy used stuff. I just had to go get what was cheap. And I think Radio Shack, and there may have been a couple of other privately owned stores or independents that sold DJ equipment, and even that was too expensive. Like you could get a Technique back then for like 250, or you could get it for $400 new. I don't know, like I said, that's like $1,200 in today's money, and I just couldn't imagine doing it. So I went when I became a wedding DJ. I went on websites and I started. Yeah, I went on websites and I started. I had to think of the timeline and the era it was, but I did go on websites and start ordering equipment. So I bought a a mixer. I think it was a Newmark, and I bought a CDs were around by then. So I bought the CD2, whatever. What was it called? The dual CD mixer board, things, which broke all the time. I think I had like three of those things in my career. And I bought a set of Behringer speakers. I think they were Behringers. Yeah, they were Behringers. Those things right there. I bought two of those. No bass up, and I think I bought. What else did I buy? Oh, I bought a truss um, to hang lights on. Those things were really cheesy and sloppy looking, if I can remember. But I did buy that, and I went to DJ. I did my thing, and the guy who hired me to DJ was a multi-op. And if you had equipment, he put you on gigs. You never even met the customer until you got to the event. Hey, you're gonna do a party for the Air Force over at blah 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 blah. Hey, this bride and groom is getting married on Saturday. You're gonna show up there at 1 o'clock. There was no type of professionalism anyway. But that's what I rocked the house with. Those Behringer, Newmark mixer, my CDs. Oh, actually, you know what? The whole thing was a mixer. It was a mixer with the two CD doors on the front. You guys remember them if you're out there. So I had that and my truss that I hung my lights from. It was what it was. And guess what? I got great reviews, and no one gave a shit about what I was using. And it wasn't like DJ groups to make you feel less than back then. At least I didn't know about them because there was no social media. So you felt that whatever you had was doing the trick, right? So yeah, it wasn't until social media came out that DJ started feeling inferior because I would go to other events and I didn't care what the DJ was rocking. I just listened to the music and I danced to it and we went from there. I don't even think I knew the name of or the brand of the equipment that was in the bars and clubs I went to. But I do remember I met a guy. I said, "What kind of speakers do you have?" He said, "Mackies." I'm like, wow, aren't those expensive? He was like, "Actually, I'm selling mine. What was it, the SM450s?" You couldn't tell me shit. I knew I was the cat's meow because I had now moved away from Behringer. I stepped up my game and I got Mackies. And then I fell into the same trap when I would go to other events and I would see guys with thumps. You remember thumps, right? Thumps were the Audi brand of the Mackies. I think Mackie made a lower end and they were called thumps. They do have bass. These 450s they were everything. So um I think I have another picture in color, so you remember. You probably had them. They had the blue light on them. Let's see if we got them here. There we go. Remember those? Heck yeah, they were everything, man. They did the trick, and I kept those for many, 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 many years. And even when people started to rock the bows, the towers, the column arrays, we call them now. See, you got to know all the names today. I can't keep up. I go, what's that uplighty thingy you got there? What's that bar that you have there? I don't know that lighting bar. I don't know the names. I just been DJing too long that I don't even give a shit. But I just don't get into the name. I just learned column array recently. Column arrays, and that's what you have to use the term. Um, and yeah, so I kept those Mackies forever, and then one of them had static in them, and I couldn't rock one. So I went to Guitar Center and I was like, hey, I got a gig this weekend. Actually, I went to a local place in our town called Parkway Music, and they had EVs, and they had Yorkvilles, and they had QSCs, and I was like, I'm not spending that much money for equipment. I was like, I might as well not even do the gig because whatever I was going to spend on the speakers, I only was going to get probably a third of that or 2/3 of that back from the event I was doing. So I was like, all right, let me run around. I'll come back. So um, I went to Guitar Center as I'm looking for some speakers, and they too had QSCs and EVs and Yorkvilles and all the big brands that people are rocking. Back when we were using tops, everybody was using tops. Column arrays weren't really big back then, and I got the Vari, these here, but I got a whole set. Um, I got a whole set. I got the 18-inch sub, and I got the two tops. Now I didn't know. I tested them out in Guitar Center. I didn't know you guys would laugh because I had Harbinger speakers. I didn't really care. But guess what I thought? I was like, oh yeah, these things kick ass. And I would take them to events, and my crowd loved it, and I rocked it. These things, man, they could do big halls, small. In fact, when I was in Guitar Center getting them, they had a sale on them, and other DJs were coming and go, yeah, those are the shit. But obviously, these weren't DJs on some of your level. You guys were like, I was I was listening to Nick Spinelli's show recently, and someone put up in the chat, "Hey, what do you think about Harbingers?" And he goes, "They're absolute trash. They're garbage. They're shit. Don't buy them." He said, "I would rather you get some Yorkvilles or something like that before you get Harbingers." I didn't feel bad because I like my Harbingers, but there are people out there that was like, "You're scraping the bottom of the barrel if you get Harbingers." Personally, I don't think so. I never had a problem with them. You know what? They're the Guitar Center, probably made in China. I don't give a shit. But they were like that bass sub and those two tops, the 15-inch bass. I mean, I forgot. I think they're 15-inch tops. They kick ass to me. I've never done a party. Everyone was like, "Your shit sounds good, bro." That's what the customers were saying. And as long as they're dancing and I'm packing the floor, I really could give two shits. Now, I don't know about SPL. These are terms I learned from watching YouTube videos, but I'm not going to pretend I know anything about all the specs and criteria that I should know about a speaker. When I plug in a loudspeaker, I just want it to be loud. I want to hear some bottom. I want it to kick gas, and I control my highs and lows and mids from my mixer, and that's all I give a shit about. But yeah, so I bought those. They've been really good to me. In fact, the bass sub I haven't even used as much because it's so big. I really, really hate carrying it around. Um, so as I've been streamlining my system, I've been wanting to get some column arrays. Now, I've heard various things about column arrays. I mean, Maui's and Bose and EV50s, EV30s, and all that stuff. I looked at the price. Oh, the RCFs. Yeah, RCFs. My conscience just won't let me spend the money, but DJs out there tell me that these are the cats meow, these are the tits, and you need to get them because you say so. Now, when you go into DJ groups, everybody's basically pulling out their penises. What brand do you have? What size do you have? Oh, compare mine to yours. Everybody's, having a dick contest, and I'm not getting involved in that. But I did want column arrays, and I wanted them because I think they look good. I think, once I got my facade, my uplighting, and all that stuff, I really, really, really wanted to get that look of column arrays. And I haven't always liked the sound of them because I thought they lacked bottom. But, with the bass sub on the bottom, the column on top, it was a good balance, a good combination of highs and lows and mids. But I wasn't buying EV50s. I'm sorry. Even if you gave me the money, I probably wouldn't buy them. And I'm going to disappoint a lot of you guys out there, but I just wouldn't do it. So I found these. Um, I found these. The Harbinger MLS 1000s. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you that I looked at a lot of the reviews because I know I knew I would get dragged in the social media group for buying these, or but then I watched unboxings and I watched reviews, and they said nothing but good things. Nick Spinelli said their shit, don't buy them. I don't care. So I just bought these last week, and I put them. I tested them in my house, and I went all the way into my bedroom, and I was playing Concama, Concama, and it was bass for days. I was like, these things are pretty effing good. So, in fact, this cover art right here is from one of the YouTube videos. Wow, he was saying like he was really, really. I think that was Bennett, Daryl Bennett's cover. So shout out to if that's your cover. Don't give me a cease and desist. I just wanted to put out that this said, "Wow, great unboxing, great overview," and yeah. But there's people out there going to be like, "Nah, Nick Spinelli, garbage, trash. Don't use them." I looked on Reddit. Reddit was like, "Don't buy them. They're cheap. They're gonna break." I buy them for a couple $100 more. You can, well, that couple $100, I got a wife and kids. I don't try and keep my money in the house to a degree, but I just, it is what it is. And guess what? If they break, I got the um, the set for they were on sale for $5.99 each, and I'm ready to rock them for this wedding season. And I'll let you know. And I still got the Harbinger tops, and I still got the 18-inch bass sub. So if I have a big room, I'm ready. I'll just be harbingered out. And you guys won't like me. You'll tease me, but I don't really give a shit. So I just want to let you know that when it comes to brands like that, I don't really give a shit. So also, when I first started out, I got uplights. Now I knew nothing about uplights, and I think I got wired uplights at a time. Do you remember these? Remember these? I got wired uplights because they were cheap. I can't remember. These are the Chauvet Easy Parts, and you could get the battery powered wireless ones, or you get the wired ones, and the price difference was significant. So I remember getting wired, but these were a pain in the ass and that plug them, the daisy chain, and then so I stopped using them. I was like, every time I went to an event, it was just way too much to plug these in and around the venue, and it was aesthetically it wasn't pleasing to the eye. So I was like, then I learned about battery powered uplights, and eventually started using those. So that's kind of how my brain works. I'm always worried about the money. So I finally, I bought. I just bought some Rockville wedges, the rock wedges, the white ones, and I put it in the DJ help desk group. Finally, came into modern times with my uplighting, and one of the guys commented, "Those aren't modern. Those been out for about 3 or 4 years." I was like, "Yeah, you didn't see my old ones. These things right here on the screen. They're modern to me. They might not be modern to you, but the rock wedges are." I think I got 10 of them, and you can get them for about $100 to $120 each. And I think I got a set of 10, so about for like $1,100. And I'm very happy because they're battery powered, DMX controlled, wireless sync. Yeah, I'm extremely happy. So yeah, so that's why I want to ask you guys: Are you buying equipment for you, or are you buying equipment for the DJ community so you won't get teased and bullied? It reminds me of name brand clothes. When I grew up high school in the 80s, college in the 80s, and people looked at your jeans. Are those Levi's, or are you wearing Jordache or Sergio Valente or Gucci? And if you had the wrong jeans on, people's like, ah. And I feel like we're back in high school again sometimes when it comes to DJ equipment. But yeah, you know what? Give me a, plug it in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Just trying to be entertaining. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just telling you how my mind thinks. My hearing has deteriorated over the years from being a DJ. So I'm sure I would know a good sounding speaker from a moderate or a mediocre sounding speaker because I don't know. My ears are just shot. So, but let me know what you think about the MLS 1000s. I don't mind if you, my feelings can't be hurt. So if you want to put in the comments, those are shit. You shouldn't have bought them. I'm okay. I see sets on the DJ help desk of people who are using Harbingers, and they probably don't even know that people are teasing them, snickering because they don't have EVs or something like that. But I like my stuff, and you know, um, our DJ owner, Caroline, uh, a bride actually wanted called her to hire her and wanted to know the brand of her equipment. I don't know how I would have answered that. I did have a DJ, a bride ask me one time, did I use a bass sub or not? Because she said my boyfriend really likes bottom. He likes a lot of bass. So she wanted to make sure I had a bass sub or brought that with me. But she didn't ask me the brand. Like she didn't go, what brand of speaker are you using for the ceremony? Or and which brand of speakers are you using for the the reception? I'm sure someone probably got in her ear, or maybe she was a DJ. I shouldn't discount her like that. I'm sure the women DJs that are in our group, if they ever getting married, they hired a DJ. They probably want to know, hey, what type of equipment are you using? I don't know. I would never do that personally, but I don't know. So tell me what you think. I'm gonna get out of here, but make sure you like and subscribe, support the channel, and I'd love to hear some of your comments about what I talked about today. Other than that, you guys take care. I am out. I'll talk to you later.